Hello and welcome to this new Flomotion After Effects tutorial. Today I want to show you how you can make a text follow a path, like in this example video here. So let's do this. Let's build all of this from scratch and create a new composition, new, and we call it our main comp. And let's make it 920 by 1080, which is full HD, 25 frames a second, and a duration of 10 seconds will be fine. And hit OK. So let's get started by importing an image file that we use as a background for our animation. And we can do that by clicking on File, Import, File, or by just double clicking here in this project window. And let's take this one here, hit OK, and we just drag and drop it into our timeline. And you can see that it is way too big. So we could either hit Ctrl-Alt-F for fit into the screen, but that also, as you can see, squeezes it into our composition. But what we could do now is go to our scaling, disable the chain here, and now just set both of them to like 44%. Or let's do 45. And we can go to half res here, just because we are in 50% at the moment. And maybe position this a bit nicer, just like so. So as the next step, let's create the path that our text should follow in the next step. But before we do that, let's just pre-comp our background image, because as you can see at the moment it's larger than our final output resolution. And to do that, we just click on our background layer, go to Layer, Pre-compose, call it BG Hills, and click on Move All Attributes into the new composition. Therefore, our new composition will have the same aspect ratio, so 1920 by 1080, like our composition itself. And hit OK. Now you can see that our image has the same size like our composition. And that's exactly what we want. So now let's just create our path. And for that we click on the pen tool, or we just hit G on the keyboard. And to go back to the selection tool, you can always hit V and G for the pen tool. So now let's just zoom in a bit, and you can move around your image by holding down the space bar. And now let's just find our way across that grass border. Okay, and now for the beginning I just give it a little bit more space here, because the text will start over here and then make its way over the hill. Okay, maybe just like so. We have created the path, and we could always go into it and fine tweak it if we want to, by going to the selection tool again, hitting V. You can also do that later on when you see it in combination with the text. So now let's create our text. Click on the text tool here, or hitting Ctrl T, and you will also get it. Take a nice font type and write the text you want to have in your composition, like I am walking over the hills. I'll just make it white so that we can see it better, and bold. Okay, there we have our text. And now let's just make it follow that path that we have created. As a first step, we want to select our path, which is at the moment stored as a mask, and there we have our mask path. We could also, if we have just our layer selected, hit M for mask, and then we have it. And we can click Edit, Copy, or Ctrl C for copy, click on our text and edit, paste. And if it shouldn't be in the same position on your end, you have to be aware that your anchor point and position should be the same like in the background hills. But you can also always just double click on your path and position it back again. But of course, easier to setting it up the right way in first place. Okay. And that would be a good point in time to maybe just save it. Okay, as a next step, we now want to animate our text. Therefore, we can just click on our text, path options, and as a path, we select our mask one that we've just created. And already you can see our text being positioned over our path. And we're almost done now here. So now let's just go through the steps to see what this is doing. By reversing the path, you would just have your letters going backwards, which is not what we want at the moment, but we of course want to have our text starting here and then going in reading direction, so that you can at first see the I, then the M, then the walking, and so on. So for that you can play with the first margin and last margin, and I'll just drag up the values here so you can see what this is doing. Let's set a keyframe. Go forward to about 4 seconds. Make it stop in a position somewhere around here. And just quickly play this back. And this is exactly what we wanted. So, if you want to have more control over it, you can go over the more options, and there you can choose, for example, if the text will go over kind of curves, and I quickly will show you what I mean by that. Is if I would make it like that and scrub through it, you can see that now all letters individually go over that curve, and if you would set it to the word, you can see that now the words are sticking to the path and not the letters. And of course you could take a whole line to follow the text, but of course that doesn't make much sense here at the moment. So let's just go back to the characters. So to make it look a little bit more nice, I would try to bring that tree in front of our text, and to do that I just copy the background, and let me quickly just solo it so that we can just see what I'm doing. And now I will go to my effects. And now there are a few options where I can do that. I could try it with the color key and just key out the sky color. Just like so, and feather it a bit. And if I now turn on the other layers, you can see what this is doing. Maybe I'll just mask out that part of the tree. And now you can see our text is walking behind the tree. Pretty nice. And just for the sake of it, let's easy ease this by hitting F9, and therefore it would just finds its smooth position at the end. Really nice. So basically this is how you are going to animate a text with a path, or to let the text follow a path. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit within the last 20 minutes, and now I wish you a lot of fun in After Effects.